The air was heavy with tension, the kind of silence that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. It was the silence of uncertainty, the pause before history decides whether to bend toward hope or collapse into chaos. Across the globe, from Washington to Warsaw, from Kiev to Taipei, people were asking the same question: what happens when two of the most powerful and dangerous leaders on earth, Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping, decide to reshape the world in their image? Anthony Scaramucci leaned forward in his chair, his voice calm yet urgent, carrying the weight of a man who had seen power up close. Opposite him sat Thor, the novelist who had spent his career weaving stories of espionage and political intrigue, stories that suddenly felt less like fiction and more like prophecy. Together, they began a conversation that wasn't just analysis or commentary. It was a warning. Brad began by painting a picture of Putin, not just the politician, but the man. Born in the crumbling aftermath of World War II, raised in a country where fear was currency, Putin rose through the KGB with a single obsession: power. He watched the Soviet Union collapse, saw his country humiliated on the world stage, and swore to himself that one day, he would bring Russia back to greatness even if it meant blood, war, and lies. But Putin's ambition was not simply about borders or oil reserves. It was about control. He saw democracy not as a rival system but as a virus, one that infected nations, weakened leaders, and made the powerful accountable to the people. That, to Putin, was intolerable. His wars in Chechnya, his aggression in Georgia, his annexation of Crimea, and the brutal invasion of Ukraine were not just about territory. They were about crushing the very idea of freedom at its root. Scaramucci nodded, then shifted the conversation eastward. To Xi Jinping, the man who rose from the shadows of Communist Party politics to become China's most powerful leader since Mao. She was different from Putin in temperament, less the swaggering strongman, more the calculating emperor, but their goals overlapped with chilling precision. Like Putin, she believed the current world order was broken. To him, the rise of China was not merely inevitable, it was destiny. Xi's strategy was quieter than Putin's, but no less dangerous. Where Putin used tanks, she used trade. Where Putin used propaganda, she used technology. From Africa to South America, China was buying influence, building infrastructure, and locking nations into a web of dependency. The Belt and Road Initiative was not just an economic plan, it was a blueprint for dominance. And while the West debated, argued, and hesitated, she moved with the patience of a chess master, willing to play a game that might last not just decades, but centuries. As the conversation deepened, Anthony and Brad brought the dangers into sharp relief with stories of real people caught in the crossfire. They told of a young Ukrainian mother, 𝗪𝗺.